Welcome to my channel, to everyone who's new here, and of course to those of you who are back again. Great to have you here. In this video we will take a look together at possible scenarios for the price development of several altcoins. Things remain exciting, so make sure to watch until the end. You will also find another video on my channel where I analyze Bitcoin and Ethereum daily. That's definitely worth checking out too. And worth checking out too is the crypto exchange mexc, which has a similar trading volume to Bitget and Bybit. Also, mexc was rank 10 yesterday and went up to rank 9. If you look into the taker fees, then you can see that nobody can compete with mexc in the trading fees. 100 pairs, 0 fees. It's an event on mexc where you can trade Solana, SUI, Cardano, Chainlink, Litecoin, HBAR, ONDO, and so on with 0 fees. And if you want an additional 20% discount on your trading fees, then you can use my referral link in the link description. Then you would also support me. And also, if you hold more than 500 MX, that's the crypto exchange token of mexc, then you are also getting another 50% discount on your trading fees. So basically you can trade for free on mexc. So starting with the Bitcoin dominance this time, what we have tracked here was a falling wedge and a double bottom pattern. Those are bullish patterns, broke to the upside. We got another crash, but here we go. We are probably going into my circle, 63.76% for the Bitcoin dominance, or even overshoot it. That means that Bitcoin is going to outperform most likely every altcoin. So let's start with our first altcoin, XRP. So what we have tracked for XRP was a triangle which broke first to the upside. Target got hit. And then it broke to the downside. Target got hit. Into that circle. With that wick. I took profits a bit earlier than that. So I can take this one out. And what I have tracked now is a rectangle. And it doesn't matter on which side it's going to break to the upside or downside, doesn't matter. We take the spread of that rectangle and put it to our breakout point. So if the $2.10 breaks to the downside, then the target would be the $2.03. If the $2.18 breaks to the upside, then we will take the target to the breakout point here, and we should get up to $2.25. So those are the scenarios which I have in mind for XRP at the moment. Also keep in mind that it might be possible that we are just in a huge rising wedge, which should break out to the downside if we also break the rectangle to the downside. So if we break the rectangle to the downside, then the target would be the $2.03, like I said. But the $2.03 would get another breakout of that rising wedge. And then we can take the target here, put it to our breakout point then. And we should reach down to $1.70. Do I think that we are going to go to $1.70? I think no. I think that purple box is much more interesting. Over that purple box, we also have a fair value gap. And I think that is going to be our target. We don't have to reach 100% of the target from the chart pattern. What I have seen so far is that some chart patterns are working, I mean with the breakout, with the retest, also with the target. And some chart patterns which are bearish also breaks to the upside. Then it means we shouldn't have been in a short trade anyway, but then the chart pattern gets invalidated. And what I have seen so far this week is that chart patterns are going to get invalid or not perfect. The weeks before, I think we had a 3 or 4 weeks streak where we have predicted the price very, very good and very precise. This week is, let's say last week was a bit more complicated, but still we hit the target of that triangle to the downside, perfectly. I personally thought we are going to drop down to $2.07. So I took 50% out of my trade in that area. And the other 50% I put on my stop loss to break even. So basically overall I did it with every coin simultaneously. So basically my profit yesterday was 7.17%. It's not much because I was expecting far more, but maybe that far more profit is going to come soon. So Dogecoin, I have tracked for Dogecoin also a rectangle which broke to the downside, and here we got the retest, and now we are getting the follow through. It looks like it. If we close, we have to go into the 1 hour chart now. If we close the 1 hour candle lower than 15.914 cent, lower than this wick, then we will get the follow through. And then we should target the area between 15.37 cents to, let me take a price mark, to 14.924 cents. Yeah, that circle, I think that is going to be our take profit. Also, what I have said for XRP was that chart patterns are actually a bit weird at the moment. I can show you with that. Dogecoin, for example. We had here a rising wedge. Let me zoom in. We broke that to the downside. We retested it. We even retested it twice and broke that to the upside again. Then we broke that to the downside. Then we retested it again. And still we didn't get lower than 16 cents. Yeah, so basically the chart patterns are not clear, not perfect at the moment. Yeah, mistake could be that my chart pattern is not a good one, or the market is tricky at the moment and tries to fake out. And I have seen it lately. I don't think that my chart patterns, maybe sometimes, but not so many times in a row, that they are getting invalid. Breaks to the upside again because people are getting into short positions in that push to the downside. In that upside push where we get the retest, then I get into a short. And also, most likely, I set my stop loss then here. And the market always goes for my stop loss. So, yeah, a bit tricky. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But what I have seen so far is it doesn't work more often than it used to be. So what I have drew here was that we are going to top out in that box and then should drop into my circle area. And what I've said then is, I have deleted it, but what I've said that then is, we don't know if we get from there up or down. It depends on how the chart is going to develop. I can't give you that information at the moment. If we get into that area and we have built, let's do it a bit different. Let's say we get into that area over the next days, and then we can draw a trend line, which we then break to the upside. Then most likely this scenario is going to happen, where we go up. What can also happen is that we drop a bit faster into that area, build another bearish pattern, for example a bear flag, and then also break that to the downside. Then the other scenario is going to happen, where we drop a step lower. So what I want to tell you is, in that area where I've put the circle, I think there it's going to get decided. After we get into that area, will we get up or down? And that's what we have to track in connection with the chart development of Dogecoin. So, Solana also in a rectangle. Yeah, I've taken out that wick to the upside, but it looks like here a rectangle, which we also broke to the downside, but I think the target already got hit. That's why I didn't put it there. Let's see. Yeah, the target got hit already, so I can delete it. What I would look for now is that this whole thing isn't just a rising wedge. For sure, I can take that rising wedge, that's what we usually do, take to the end, and then connect this low here with the top, and put it to our breakout point. But I think this is too much, because we don't have much more touch points in that whole area here. We are missing touch points there. I would have understood if we had, for example, this touch point here. Then we can have taken this or this spread as target. But so far we don't have any touch points there. So I have taken as my target this one here. Yeah, it's less bearish. And the market at the moment is also less bearish. Same for Solana. Because we have broke the green trend line to the upside. Yeah, we have a break of structure. So I think the low for Solana, which we have made right here on the 7th April, I think that is our low at the moment. I doubt that we are getting lower than that at the moment. Yeah, we don't know how the chart is going to develop. Still, I would look for the $129 breaking to the downside. Then it would be the first sign that it's short. But I will actually want to take the red trend line. I can show you that. We have many touch points, as you can see. And if the $127 breaks to the downside, then I think we can get into this circle right here, where I also put a purple box. Because there we have also seen support and resistance. I can draw this. Right here, resistance, we got rejected in that box. Here also, we got rejected. We pushed to the upside and we got support. And then the push to the upside. So I think this area is going to get support for us. And if we drop there, then I can expect a push to the upside. And then we have to see, is this push to the upside just going to be a small push where we then break to the downside? Oh no, let me explain it a bit in more detail. If we get a sharp selling and we get a push to the upside, but this push is corrective and is giving us another trend line for another short opportunity, then I think this is going to happen. Yeah, this can still happen. But if we get slowly and corrective to the downside into that box, and we draw a trend line here, break it to the upside, then I think we can reach for higher prices, maybe even up to $200 to $250. We have to look for that later, because the data is missing in the chart. But what I can tell you is that I'm expecting a push to the upside. Doesn't matter if we get a newer low or having now this as a jump pad to push to the upside, or from here, I think the $200 to $250 for Solana are safe in the next month. Yeah, because I think in June the market expects with a higher chance a rate cut in June, so that can be the push to the upside then. So Cardano is the only coin which I couldn't track anything. With anything, I mean, okay, maybe a bull flag. But here also a rectangle. Broke to the downside, we got the retest several times, we got even a follow through. Did we get a follow through? Right here, yeah, same. So it's not a follow through, looked like it. But still, the 61.5% should be our target, but instead we got another push to the upside, and what can I do here? Nothing. So I can take out, I will still keep the target in, but in the end of the day, for Cardano, I can't do much. If the 61.58 cents breaks to the downside, then we should drop to 58.59 cents. That's very realistic in my view. If we break the 58 cents to the downside, then I think those two circuits are going to get interesting. But so far we haven't breaked anything to the downside. Nothing. So basically everything what is going to happen here is not tradable for me. Yeah, it might be even possible that Cardano goes sidewards while the other coins are doing their job. And then we even get a breakout of that bull flag, and then it might be even bullish. So we have to see for Cardano what is going to happen in a few days. I think we won't get a nice chart pattern tomorrow. So render. Yeah, that's what I have said with the chart patterns. Here, a rising wedge. We broke to the downside. We retested it. We retested it twice. And now we broke over it again. So that's why I'm thinking like trading this week won't be a good week. I see so many fake outs. And for example, look at this push to the upside. I don't know if any news came out, but I doubt that any news came out, because if we look into other coins, they didn't do that push to the upside. So it's basically, in my view, a small market manipulation, where we have got many people into short trades with high leverage. The market makers saw it, that render got shorted probably with high leverage and with many shorts, and they just took out those short positions, probably to get themselves into a short position. Yeah, so basically the whole market looks very weird to me. Here, double top pattern, which also broke to the downside, but also didn't hit the target. Yeah, so those are loser trades in my view. Still, we can hold those trades still longer, because I think it's just a matter of time until we get into our fair value gaps here lower than us. We have a big one left between $3.04 to $3.23. But as you can see, it's not clean. It doesn't look clean to me. Anything else? $3.65. If they break to the downside, then the chances are high that we should drop to $3.47 for render. If we get over $4.07, then we can get into the fair value gap up to $4.18, where I've put that circle in. I doubt that we are going to get there, but to be honest, with those wicks to the upside, we can even wick for like 1 minute, 2 minutes into that area, and then immediately sell off again. So I think everything is possible at the moment. So similar as ONDO, double top pattern, which broke to the downside. We got the retest. We got even a nice candle to the downside, but still it went up a bit more. And we didn't even close the fair value gap. If we would have closed the fair value gap, then I would have said, okay, it was because of the inverse fair value gap that we broke to the downside, trying to get back into that fair value gap to open more short positions to then sell off into the other fair value gap. But it didn't happen. So basically, and now the candle is big red again. So what can I do here? Nothing. I can actually do nothing beside watching and trying to get a more safer setup or market situation. Let's say it like that. So I can do some better trades in probably the next days or even next week. So SUI. SUI is the only coin, I think, which hit the target. Double top pattern, which broke to the downside. and yeah, almost hit the target, but we will count that probably getting back even lower. But as you can see, it looks very weird. Yeah, usually all those coins correlate with each other, and they correlate with each other. It means if they drop, then all the other coins are also dropping. Means if you see the candle with SUI at the moment, the red candle, then every other coin should also have a red candle, or should be at least near to it. But you have seen Render, for example. Okay, it's having a red candle right now, but that green push to the upside, you couldn't have seen it with any other coin. They don't have it at the moment. Yeah, and Dogecoin is getting a follow through at the moment, which other coins didn't. Other coins didn't even break to the downside. They are still up here. So it's such a weird market situation at the moment, and it's better not to trade in my view. So back to SUI. If the $2.16, which is this support here, if that breaks to the downside, then we can drop to the red trend line, which is the $2 and round about 10 cents. If they break to the downside, then I think the chances are high that we are going into that circle to fill the fair value gap, and from there probably getting a huge push to the upside. SUI is also the only coin which has a form of, let's say, a falling wedge. You see the white trend line. I can put this one here, like this, and it looks like a bit like a falling wedge, which is a bullish pattern. Okay, if we break that to the downside in a few minutes or hours, then this pattern is going to get invalidated. Can also be just a panel. We have to see it, what is going to happen here. But in the end of the day, we will get to HBAR and then you will see what I mean. So here we have so many chart patterns, I can't even see it myself. So we will start with the bigger one. So this whole thing here looks to me that it was a rectangle. We have said before, a rectangle, we take the spread of the rectangle and put it to our breakout point. Our breakout point was this right here, where we dropped to the downside, retested it, and were there for like, I think 2 or 3 hours. But then we bought up again. Then, here, double top pattern. Broke to the downside, target should be the 16 cents. We didn't got there. We got back up. Now we are getting a huge red candle. I don't know from where. We are just getting a huge red candle. But also what we have formed is a falling wedge, which is a bullish pattern. So we have, I think, two bearish patterns, which broke to the downside, which then broke to the upside again, into that pattern again, to then break again to the downside, forming a bullish pattern. And also, we broke the white trend line to the downside. The white trend line was this whole uptrend. We retested it even. So, we retested it right here. Broke that also to the upside, used it as support, broke that to the downside again. So basically, I'm out, I'm not doing anything, no trades, nothing. It's kind of a rage quit right now what I'm doing, but sometimes it is like that. Yeah, so stay safe, don't get fooled, because you see how I get fooled at the moment. The weeks before it wasn't like that, I can promise you that. If you are new on this channel, if you already have watched a few videos of me, then you would have seen that the weeks before, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago, it was far more better and far more precise. Yeah, now it's, let's say, hard times. Yeah, but hard times creates hard mans. I read that on, I think, TikTok or Instagram. So with that quote, I want to let you into your relaxed day, hopefully. See you tomorrow.